Hey folks, what's going on? Welcome to the live stream. This is Shadowstars. I'm just gonna be doing a typical live stream. I host a live stream once a week where I cover just stuff I want to talk about. Lately, a lot of the conversation has been around the stock AMC. So today's live stream, trying to keep it within that 2 to 3 hour range. I'm gonna be talking about some developments in AMC. And just give you a brief recap of what's been going on for the past week. So as always, all my stuff, all the information that I give to you, that I provide, that I show you folks, you'll see the exact source of where I'm getting this information. So, for example, today, right off the bat, what I'm going to be covering is going to be a new Form 4 filing. So you want to access the same Form 4 filing that I pulled up right here on my screen. Go to your search, whatever browser that you use. Go to the SEC Edgar website, sec.gov/EDGAR Edgar. Search in the company AMC, and you'll get to this page. From there, you can look at ownership disclosures, and you'll see the newest Form 4 filing. Okay, so I have a lot of these Form 4 filings pulled up because I planned on discussing a lot of this. But this is it right here. So let me pull this up to the front. So pay attention. There's a couple dates that you need to be made aware of. So right off the bat, new Form 4 filing, who's it for? Sean D. Goodman. Who is he? An EVP and a CFO of AMC Entertainment. Date of the transaction, February 2nd, 2023. Now, off the bat, what did he do? What's the type of derivative or security? AMC Preferred Equity Units, APE shares, on February the 2nd. So, what is that? February 2nd is a Thursday. Code S, he sold 82,402 shares of APE. At what price? $2.79. So what's that mean? What's this section mean? Well, he has 4,420 shares left. Now, it's also very important to understand the explanations. Gotta read the notes. Gotta read the little footnotes. So this sale, reported, was pursuant to a Rule 10b5-1 trading plan. So this is something that he adopted back in March 24th of 2022. He adjusted that plan back in September 27th of 2022 to reflect the impact of the special dividend. And also you'll see that, look at how many shares that he has. Total, 663,240 shares. That's all combining. You got his common shares, 105,285. From vesting of equity grants, future vesting, you got the same number of APE units. You got another 221,915 shares of common shares for continued service. Same number of APE. You combine all that together along with how many shares he currently owns, you get your 663,240. So this guy, I've been pointing it out, he's been selling shares all the time. What I'm going to pull up here, if you right click on the person's name on the form, you'll see all his different filings. Another way to look at this, if you click on this reporting link here next to his name, you'll see all the different transactions just in a slightly different format. So instead of that table, right here, bam, you get an easier way to see all his Form 4 filings, what he did. You get a brief summary of what happened in that transaction. Was it a sale, conversion, etc.? An award. You'll see what type of security is involved. You'll see what sort of transaction occurred, and so forth. But hey, yep, for the folks coming in, what's up? Tony, glad to see you here. I'm gonna probably butcher your name, but Legatus, what's going on? But yep, so what you can see, the most recent transaction, he's selling more ape. Now, I posted this on my Twitter, and I obviously saw a lot of people post this, obviously, because it's news. It's brand new news about AMC. And a lot of seeing a lot of pushback, a lot of common responses saying, first of all, one response I came upon, saying that, oh, you know what? Doesn't mean much. Executives sell shares all the time. Yeah, I agree. In general sense, executives of a company, when they get these RSUs, when they get those PSUs, yeah, when they vest, they sell it because a part of their total compensation is these RSUs, PSUs. So what we can pull up is the pay mix. So similar. We'll say, look at how a CEO is paid. Look at the short term, the long term. You get a base salary, you get bonuses, you get PSUs, you get RSUs. Other NEOs, named executive officers. Same thing. You get RSUs, you get PSUs, you get a base, your base salary, and bonuses. So yes, it's not, what he said wasn't wrong. Executives all the time will sell shares that they receive, whether that's PSUs or RSUs. The question now becomes, how much of that do they hold? What are the requirements of, if you're an executive, an NEO, named executive officer, what's the requirement for how much do you need to hold? In what time frame? Etc. That's important stuff that you should be asking, that you should understand. And we can see that Sean Goodman, all his filings, you can go down the list. He has over, how many filings? 80 plus filings. 94 filings total. All the way from Unify to his position in Asbury. You got Highcroft Mining and obviously AMC. So all the second page, basically this is all Asbury, Unify. So all these 80 filings minus 3. So 77 filings of AMC. During going through this list, do you see any situation of a purchase? All I see is sale, 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 and sale. That's all I see. I don't see him ever buying any shares. So when I saw that pushback of, oh, you know what? No, it's normal. It's normal that an executive in the company that you're bullish on, he never holds on to his shares. That's bullish. I just couldn't understand that. So what I'm going to do here is, I've made a video previously of the transactions that a lot of these executive officers have. And I've done a breakdown on Sean Goodman, the CFO. So, did some updating because he's been selling some more shares recently. Total to date, since he started the company joined the company back in 2021, he sold over 600,000 shares, either that's AMC or APE. He's made total of $13.2 million off those shares. I mean, obviously taxes and stuff, etc. But just from selling all those shares, 13.2 million. His base compensation, his base salary, is approximately 800,000. His yearly salary is around that. His total compensation on a yearly basis is under $4 million. But in the, what? He's been with the company for under 2 years. But with all the shares that he sold, he's made 3 times his yearly salary. His yearly compensation, I should say, rather. You can see he owns, and I'll show you folks, it's important to read everything. I covered this, 663,000 shares of AMC. What's going on, folks? Adrenocide, Manual, what's going on? Keep a track of this figure, 663,000. You break that down. He has, there's no way, is this right? Basically equal breakdown. AMC and Ape, 331,620 shares of AMC, 331,620 shares of Ape. Now remember, I'm going to pull up previous 14A filing. So scroll up back here, Schedule 14A. This is something as you as a shareholder would have voted for if you were in AMC as a shareholder back in 2022. They had this shareholder meeting, remember? You had to vote for it when they did it June 16th, if I recall correctly. You had to vote for this. Tells you how much they all made, base salary. And hold on, I'm trying to pull up the compensation requirement right here. Executive stock ownership guidelines. Your CEO, Adam Aaron, needs to hold 8 times his base salary. Your CFO, Sean Goodman, 6 times his base salary. Your other EVPs, 4 times their base salary. Your senior VPs, 2x their base salary. So let's take a look. Sean Goodman, total number of shares. This is including future investment. So based on if he continues to have employment within the company and the EIP and all that other stuff, combine that all. He owns 663,000 shares. Did the breakdown here. When I looked at this filing here, look at the notes, tells you the breakdown exactly how many Ape, how many AMC Class A common stock. So do some basic math, plug in the basic prices of the stock. Sure. What was the share price of AMC? Is that 6? What did it end? 6. Let's say 608. Let's plug that in. 608. What did Ape end at? 301. 301. Total value of all his shares. This is including future shares that he hasn't gotten yet. $3 million. Now, what's your guidelines of ownership for your executives? Your CFO, this is what Sean Goodman is, 6 times his base salary. Technical base salary times 6. He should own $4.7 million worth of AMC/Ape. I'm just curious, figuring out if this falls on just AMC, or if this falls AMC plus Ape. Because that would be very interesting to know. But nonetheless, even if we combine AMC and Ape, he is under that 4.7 million value. He only owns 3 million. This was further lower when the price went lower, but nonetheless, he doesn't own enough shares of the company. Not according to the guidelines that Adam Aaron and the board of directors, rest of these folks, all voted for. When Adam Aaron was going on Twitter saying, and on the earnings call, when he talked about, oh, yeah, we're going to put into place, I'm going to talk to my board of talk to the other directors, I'm going to talk to my leadership, the rest of the leadership team, we're going to talk about how many shares everyone needs to own. Passed it as super bullish news, saying that, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to hold 8 times my salary. CFO is going to time 6 times. They do that. Yeah, sure, you can talk a good talk, but what's your actions reveal? You're in breach of your ownership guidelines. You're not holding 6 times your base salary. I'd like to know exactly the terms of this ownership guideline. How often is this considered? How often does this need to be revisited? Is it just once a year? As soon as you qualify for it once, after that, it doesn't matter how many shares you own? What are the restrictions? It doesn't make sense because your CFO, your chief financial officer, is in breach of your guidelines based on the most recent price of AMC when it closed on Friday. He doesn't hold 6 times the base salary. And he's been selling shares consistently. February 2nd. Yes, I know some people will point to, oh look, he made this plan back in March. That's even worse. You know why? He's been planning to sell all these shares. Sure, he made an adjustment on September because of Ape, but he's been planning. This goes to show that, you know what? He's been planning to sell all this and he hasn't changed his mind. Let me catch up to the chat real quick. Let's see. The whole board always sells their shares all the time. New board members, if you ask me. I would think that, you know what? If you, as a retail shareholder, you hold shares of AMC, the current board of directors, all those members, it doesn't seem like they're really in favor of you. They're not really thinking of you as a retail, in the minds of retail shareholders, retail investors. Your views are not aligned. That's my opinion. Sure, yes, they have a fiduciary duty for the company. So yes, they want to keep the company rolling, keep the lights on, but that doesn't always mean that they'll make the moves in the best interest to make sure that the share price continues to go up for you as a shareholder. That's not what their number one priority is. So yes, if you want someone on the board that better aligns with you getting an increase in share price, yeah, the current board members, not going to do it. But you know what? You're going to run into a problem because they have in their bylaws and rules ways to mitigate if people want to take board members out. It's in a lot of these companies. If you read through their bylaws, you read through their rules and regulations, you'll see that they'll have cases to prevent like a hostile takeover, to prevent people from just putting on board members that they don't want. They'll have types of almost defensive measures. But a genocide. You got kicked from Al from Boston's live stream last night. Al covering AMC still? After he went all crazy after the Philip Later and the crypto thing and implicating his daughter, and after that's the one time I really heard him. Before that thing was when he was on the live stream with Avi talking about his financial forecasting model. After that, I stopped paying attention to Al. I mean, that guy's absolutely nuts. It's another guy. He has no clue how to do any sort of DD. Like, he reads a couple words, then he makes all sorts of links to random stuff without digging into it further. And he got absolutely clowned on. Not just folks from the AMC community, people who were bullish, but people outside of the AMC community. Like, he's just basically laughed at like a clown. But yeah, it looks like Manuel, you were also kicked out. Let's see who else. I said F the credit cards and popcorn. Then I asked if anyone had any idea how much cash AMC was burning through and that they wouldn't make it through Q3. Uncle Frank, I think I've read that name through somewhere else. Yep, they're definitely a cult. Some channels and some groups, some folks a lot more than others. But yeah, I would think the folks that are highly supportive of Al from Boston and believe in his supposed DD, yeah, absolute cult. Tony asks, do they buy these shares or get them free from the company? So if you take a look, a lot of these are from the company. They're not buying them. These are awards that they get. So if you look at AMC's EIP, Equity Incentive Plan, that they developed back in 2013, it just lines out, hey, X number of RSUs, restricted stock units, that whatever position they'll get, because it's part of their compensation. So let me pull up, where's that diagram again? Here, the pay mix. You'll see that part of their whole compensation, the way that they're paid, they get a base salary, but on top of their base salary, they're going to get restricted stock units, RSUs, performance stock units, PSUs. So they get these units that they can then convert to shares, and then they'll sell off those shares like Sean Goodman does. Can you reach out to Al and invite him to debate on AMC? I don't think it's even worth my time. Honestly, that guy, I don't know if he even reads anything. You kept asking Froggy Stonks about DRSing. There's two people I always confuse with the Froggy name. Froggy Stonks, is that the guy with the froggy hat? Was it T Spencer or T Spence 222 or something on Twitter? Or is it the other guy? Was it his name Jeremy or something? I forgot it. There's so many names to keep track of, and honestly, I don't have the interest to really keep them apart. What do I think about the cost to borrow for AMC last week, and how do you think it will play this upcoming week? I'm gonna put that question on hold. I'll get to that soon. But that'll be in the next part of the section, really. I just wanted to let me wrap up with this first, and then I'll get to answering that. So, to quickly wrap up, we covered the Form 4 filing of new Form 4 filing for AMC, which was the CFO, Sean Goodman, selling more of his APE shares. And looking at the stock ownership guidelines of all the NEOs, the named executive officers, you know that he is currently not in line with the ownership guidelines. I guess question becomes to me, these guidelines that are made, hold on, where are you? These guidelines, I guess, is there any penalty for not following these guidelines? I guess if there's no penalty, if there's no repercussion of not following those guidelines, then hey, who the hell's gonna follow it? Certainly, your CFO's not following it. We can look into Adam Aaron. You can look at how many shares this guy has. We'll look at his filing. I have his most recent filing here, which was filed January 3rd, 2023. You can look at his combined equity interest. Is that going to line up? Should we do some quick math here, folks? How many shares of AMC? Let's see. 1348138 plus 495873 plus 1050039. That's total number of AMC shares. Current stock price of AMC at 608 times 608. Yeah, he's way above. Adam Aaron obviously kept his. If he didn't keep to his word on following the ownership guidelines, I'm sure he'd get absolutely destroyed. Elevator music in the background. Yeah, I decided, you know what? Get some little BGM background music in the back. It seemed like it was way too monotonous. It was just my voice. So a little bit of music in the background, not too loud, but enough to kind of fill in the dead space when I'm not talking and stuff. I'll eventually get to the rest of these folks. All the other EVPs, the SVPs. But you can see, your SVP, your chief, accounting officer? How many shares does this guy have in total? 100 and basically 70,000 shares. Is that above the 2x requirement? 2 times the base salary? All these folks hold so little shares. Kevin Connor, SVP, General Counsel and Secretary, 317,000 shares total. Your Elizabeth Frank, she is your EVP, Chief Program and Content, 404,000. But if you look at, once again, how many shares do they currently have? 35,000. 28,000. This is the only other person that's really out. 170,000. SVP 14,000. Oh, here's your Chief Marketing Officer, 3,663 shares. Chief Operations and Development Officer, sub 30,000 shares. All your executive officers, your EVPs, your SVPs, CEO, CFO, they hold so few shares. You can bring up the point that, you know what? Yeah, executives sell their shares, part of their compensation. Yeah, but you know what? They sell everything off. They have been selling everything off. Look at a company that's well run. Look at a blue chip stock. Look at a company like, I don't know, look at an Apple, look at a Microsoft, etc. Look at those CEOs, look at those CFOs, COOs, CIOs, CTOs, etc. Are they always selling all their shares? No, you're not going to see the level of selling that you see with AMC. So that's why I say that, you know what? The board gives no confidence. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie it into the most recent filing. If you're a shareholder of AMC, you've got a preliminary proxy materials. You got a vote that's upcoming. You got a vote that's going to be potentially held on March 14th, 2023. You got a little over just under a month and a half of a shareholders meeting, a special meeting. And remember that the record date for this vote, or is it February, what was it? Where is that date? February 8th. So you have 3 days left to get whatever position that you want for this shareholder meeting. You should understand how the board operates. What is the board doing? If all your executive officers are selling a majority of their shares, if they're not even in compliance with their own ownership guidelines of keeping the minimum amount of what they should be holding, what's that tell you? Maybe that's not definitive, but you know what? That gives me an inkling. That gives me the thought that, you know what? They don't trust the company to be successful. If the stock price is going to run, if the company is going to be successful, continue to grow, stock price should increase. Why not sell it later down the line? Are they that strapped for cash? You can look at, I did all the different transactions over the years. They're making a lot more in money selling these shares than their total compensation on a yearly basis. So they're making a lot more money. It's not like they're strapped for money, that they're poor. They're being well compensated. Look, your Chief Content and Programs, EVP, over $9 million within the last basically year, from 2021 to 2022. She joined the company in 2013. She didn't sell a single share for nearly 8 years. But come 2021, she started to sell everything that she had. What's that tell you? An EVP level, an executive level person in your company, they've been with the company for almost 10 years. She didn't sell for nearly 8 years, but suddenly 2021, selling shares. It tells you right off the bat that, you know what? Even they realize that the stock price is way overvalued. That it doesn't make sense that the share price is this high. And they believe that it's not going to reach these levels again. Most likely. That's why they're selling everything that they have to cash out on this. So when people give me the argument that, you know what? Oh, it's a nothing burger that the CFO is selling shares. No, that argument does not hold an ounce of water. It does not hold up anything. Because if he really thought, he really believed in the company, he wouldn't be selling every single share. He'd be holding on to it to sell it at a higher price. So, covered CFO. All his different filings. You got your SVP, Chris Cox. All sub 20,000 shares, 14,000 shares. Chief HR Officer, she's the only one that has a decent chunk, 170,000. Your General Counsel, Secretary, SVP, 28,000. We covered Elizabeth Frank, 35,000. Your Chief Marketing Officer, laughable, 3,600 shares. Chief Operations Officer, sub 30,000. Adam Aaron's the only one that holds a decent chunk of shares at over 1 million. But besides him, no one else. How many more shares Adam Aaron in total will have what? 5.5 million shares versus how much will the CFO? 663,000. But based on ownership guidelines, how much does it need to hold? 8 times his base salary versus 6 times? The rest of his executive officers don't hold anywhere near the same amount that the CEO, that Adam Aaron, holds. They already cashed out. Adam Aaron cashed out too, but you know what? He can't cash out the same amount like everyone else did, because then he'll lose every shred of trust. Because I see him, he's almost grifting basically. He's pulling everyone in. He's saying, "Oh, trust me, I ride with you. Oh, come to my screenings." All at the same time, while the rest of his executive officers, they're just selling their shares. And I think that's important to understand when you're going to be voting for this, if you're a shareholder. And I did a live stream, I think, a week ago, covering this, and I made a couple of videos covering all this. So if anyone wants for me to rehash this, I can, but I think it's important. You need to read everything part of this, everything of this preliminary materials, proxy materials. In particular, what you really need to pay attention to is this annex. You need to understand how the certificate of amendment to their restated certificate of incorporation is going to go down. Annex A by far is probably one of the out of the 3 most important sections to read in this filing. Annex A is probably number 1. Pay attention to this, read through it, make sure you understand it. Once you understand it, you'll get a better grasp of how you may want to vote. But remember, this whole vote, board of directors, they're asking you to vote yes for all 3 proposals. And now think about, does the board of directors, all those folks, have your best interest in mind? Is what you want from the company, from AMC? Do these board of directors, do they agree with your wants? Do you think they're going to best represent your interests? Think about it. But yeah. So let me get back to the chat here. So I know Legatus asked the cost to borrow last week. Yes, I know a lot of people were going nuts about cost to borrow going up, cost to borrow going up. Let's see. Let's pull up a typical ape account. I think, yeah, I'm gonna give some. Pull up this Twitter account so I get the picture of what's. So here, so I know that everyone's been super hyping it up. So So this is what Boss Blunts won. Marcel Kalinovic. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I call him Boss Blunts. But everyone talks about, oh, look how the cost to borrow, average cost to borrow, 621%. Oh, look how it's going up. Short interest, 22%. There's 2 ways to think about it, in my opinion. There are the folks, like a lot of apes, they're super hyped. They're super hyped that, oh, you know what? Cost to borrow is going up. Max cost to borrow so high. That, oh, it's costing folks to borrow more to short the company. So it's becoming more expensive, meaning that people need to pay increased amounts of fees. That's one way to understand it. And why does that occur? Because there's less available shares to short. Because you need to entice folks to allow them to borrow your shares. That's one way to think about it. And people like Boss Blunts, he hypes it up. Oh, There's a lot less shares to borrow. That's why the fees going, the cost to borrow fee is going up. Yada yada yada. Okay. So what? That's one side of the argument to think about. Think about the flip side. Why are folks looking to borrow more shares to short? If the company is continuing to do well, are more folks going to short the company? Or if the company's not doing well and they're projecting that the company will do worse off in the future, do you think in that situation they'll continue to short more? Think about it. If the company's doing well, less likely to be shorted. Company's not doing well, it's going to be more likely to be shorted. So when you have a situation where more people are shorting it, cost to borrow goes up, I'm more of the opinion that they're more betting on things are going to go down. That's why they're piling in. That doesn't mean that they're right. That's when you have a situation like GameStop back in 2021. You had a massive catalyst that completely changed the situation. But is there a massive situation that's going to occur with AMC? So I think that the increasing cost to borrow, what's that mean? That means that to me tells me, you know what? More retail folks are going in to short AMC. They believe that, you know what? Stock will continue to go down. Sure, stock has been on the rise for the past couple of days, but so has the overall markets. You've got to pay attention to how will this proposal, how will this shareholders meeting go? How is this going to impact your stock price come March? So day after March 15th. What is that date? March 15th is come Wednesday. How is that going to affect your share price? That's a major catalyst. Not to mention earnings. AMC Q4 earnings coming soon, right? I think that end of February, first week of March, they're going to have earnings. Why? Good. Show you the evidence why. You can go to AMC Investor Relations. You can pull up all their earnings releases. Q4 2021. When did they release this? March 1st. Q4 2020 results. When did they release this? March 10th. Q4 2019, February 27th. Q4 2018, February 28th. So Q4 earnings coming up. You're going to have that release soon. In what, 1, 2, 3, basically in 4 weeks. So that's also something to consider. Earnings is around the corner. You'll see how AMC did for Q4. You can see the cash situation. On my channel, I've been covering it over and over and over. I cover this all the time in my videos. I talk about what the financials are, what it currently is, as the most recent update, the reporting, and a base guideline, a forecasting model of what it can be for the most upcoming quarter. Remember, a lot of these companies, a lot of these earnings, a lot of the stock price moves for a lot of the normal companies I'd classify it as, they're forward looking. Sure, some of it will factor in what your previous performance was, but they want to know quarter down the line, 2 quarters down the line, 3 quarters down the line, etc. What's it look like? Are you on the path to recovery? Are you going to be making money? Do you have enough money to service your debt? Do you need a dilute? Etc. So a lot of that, I think, is factored into the situation of cost to borrow. I see the situation, to answer your question, Legatus, that more people are piling in to short the company. They're thinking that the stock will continue to decline. And I think that they're factoring in the shareholder meeting along with Q4 earnings report. That worse than expected performance of Q4 and a bleak outlook going into Q1, Q2 will lead to more downside pressure, that more people will continue to sell off. Furthermore, look at the current price of AMC, $6. What is the market cap? $3 billion. What was AMC's market cap when it joined back in April, May of 2022? So let's go back. Let's do it in the weekly. April, May. So it was easily in the double digits, pre-split. So it was easily double this in market cap. So the market cap was easily above 3 billion. 5 billion plus. Why do I bring this up? Think about all the different ETFs, all the different funds that buy into tracking a lot of these indices. Like the Russell 2000, the Russell 3000, the Russell 1000. AMC was in there, they got into there when they had a higher market cap. When those indexes, when the Russell 2000, when the Russell 3000, when they reconstitute, so when they rebalance what companies that they have in their list and the weight in that list, what's going to happen? AMC has significantly dropped their market cap since then, since that April-March time window. So as a result, a lot of those indexes, passive indexes, that were holding on to AMC, they're going to trim their positions because they'll follow. It tracks the performance of a Russell 2000, a Russell 3000, a Russell 1000. So now you have a situation where also institutions will be selling off their positions. That's further future catalysts down the line. That all plays into a situation like this. Cost of borrow going up? Yeah. More people are piling in. They see more downside. They don't see that many upsides. More upsides that'll counteract the potential downsides. That's my thought, to answer your question. I know it went on pretty long, but I wanted to back up what I wanted to say. Let's see. Let's go back. Trying to catch up on the chat. DRS stuff. I'm always curious. All the folks who are so into DRS, I'd love to know if you're super into the situation of squeeze. Isn't there a situation where ComputerShare could freeze your ability to sell, basically? You'd order them to, hey, sell this, but you know what? They might not be able to. Pretty sure if you read their terms of agreement or terms of service, etc., I'm sure they have clauses of, oh, you know what? During periods of extreme volatility that they might not be able to execute your orders, that they might not be able to sell it at the price that you put through, etc. Not to mention the fees associated with using the ComputerShares. Just my thoughts. I just never understood why people would DRS those shares. I never bought into the whole theory of, oh, they're going to lend out your shares. Well, go into your broker and turn off share lending. You can turn off share lending in brokers like Webull. Pretty sure you can do that on Robinhood, and etc. Or you can go into a completely different brokerage that perhaps that they don't do those share lending then. Well, let's see. DRS is not meant for someone who is going to need quick access to sell because the selling process is not instantaneous and they are only obligated to give you the VWAP price. Oh, bam, there we go. Thank you, Badback. HLBZ. All the folks who followed into these scams. HLBZ. Absolute pump and dumps. Does chart look familiar, folks? Pump. Pump up, dump, pump up, dump, pump up, dump. Like, this was the electric scooter company, if I recall correctly. I briefly went through their financials. This company burns millions of dollars in cash. You got a pump up effect when the CEO said, oh, I'm going to join Roger James Hamilton and fight the shorts. Why didn't you come out with fighting shorts back when your stock price went from, I'm sure they did reverse splits and stuff, from $41 when it dropped down to $14? Back in September 30th, 2021. Why weren't you so vocal about it on Twitter? Why weren't you so vocal on it, going on YouTube, going on whatever interviews? Why weren't you reaching out to other CEOs to fight supposed naked shorts? Back then, your stock price more than halved, slashed in half. See no complaints there. From there on, kept on getting obliterated down to what, $2-3 in January 2022. Still no talk of that then. Still no talk until recently, just now, in the last couple weeks. Your stock was absolutely demolished back then. Back in 2021. But not a peep from you then. And since then. But only when, what? Now. Because of GNS. So I'll pull up GNS. Similar story with GNS. $36? Yeah. Demolished down to, what, $6? Back in April 2022. No talks of it then. Oh, back up to $11. June of 2022. Yeah, back down to $5 range, $4 range. July 2022. No talk of it then. Oh, back up to 11. September 2022, you're down to $2. No talk of it then. Oh, but now suddenly you're going to talk about it in January of 2023? All these folks, this is all pump and dumps. Look at the financials of the company. Does it make sense? All these companies are burning cash hand over fist. They're not making us any money. They're not net profit. They're not making net gains. There's no profit that they're making. They're spending more money to produce their products. They're spending a lot more than it takes than they're bringing in. Look at the SG&A. Look at the cash flow. Look at how much that they've been diluting the company. Easy to spot. So stuff like GNS, stuff like HLBZ, was it CRTD, etc. A lot of these companies, they don't have a profitable business model. They're not making money. They have really no plan to make money. If a company is not making money, they're constantly borrowing money, burning money. Is that a wise investment short term? The value of your shares is going to go down if they continue to dilute. If they have no way to service their debt, if they're in danger of going bankrupt, do you think the stock price will go up or go down? Think about it. So let's see. So yeah. So cost to borrow, all those pump and dump stocks, yeah, it's a joke. Don't fall into these schemes. Yeah, there's some folks who've made lots of money. Sure, if you are able to get in that, what, 40-50 cent range, and you sold when it $5, yeah, you made a lot of money. From 50 cents to $5. Good job. But what made you confident? What led you to understand that it would reach that price? How do you know it was going to reach that price? You were just guessing. If you made profit on this, you played a sentiment. You played a pump, and you guessed. Your guess made you money. But just as, hey, what if you bought in at this peak 5 and it fell down to 3? How do you know it's going to go back up to 6? How do you know it's going to go up to almost $8? You don't know. All you're doing, you're gambling. You are absolutely guessing. In the case you've bought in at 50 and it ran to 5, ran to almost 8, yeah, you guessed and you guessed right. But you know what? How many more times can you replicate this? Congrats to the folks who made money. Good job. I got no problems. But you know what? I'm not going to touch a situation like this because I'm not going to gamble. When I trade, a lot of times I'm more of an investor. I invest my money into companies I see growth that will do well. I'm not going to gamble money. It's no different from going to a casino, going to a slot machine, and seeing if you can make money. This is what you did. You went to a casino, you bet some money, and bam, you got paid out if you sold. There's some folks who bought in at this level, and they got no clue. Seeing got obliterated down to $2-3, and if they sold, yeah, they lost money. They guessed, they gambled, and they lost. The current valuation of this at $8 doesn't make sense. Financial statement wise, balance sheet wise, doesn't make sense that the company is valued this much. Look at the balance sheet. Look at how much debt that they have. Look at how much money they're burning quarter after quarter. And if I recall correctly, they're doing some sort of spin-off. I think they're spinning off a portion of their company, if that's correct. I recall reading something really briefly, like 30 seconds. If you're doing a spin-off of your company, you're taking a portion of value of your company and you're separating it. A company doesn't just generate random value out of thin air. If you have company, let's say A, it's worth $100. You're going to split the company into company A and company B. If company A is worth 90, company B is worth 10. When company B leaves to be its separate entity, when it takes that 10 away, your value of company A goes down. It's no longer 100, it's 90. What do you think will happen to the stock price as a result? This is my thought. I haven't been following exactly every single thing with GNS, but I think that I recall seeing something saying that they were spinning off their part of their company. If you think a spin-off is good, no, think twice. Think of where's that company? BBIG. This company. This was another bag holder's dream. Another familiar situation. Pump, dump, pump, dump, pump, dump. All the time. It got pumped up super high. But I remember they did a spin-off. Was it BBIG and Cryptide? Some sort of crypto thing? Yeah, when they did the division, when it did the spin-off of that company, it lost a portion of its value. A spin-off doesn't mean that you're receiving free money. When you receive a share of a spin-off company, it's taking that value from the original company and splitting it off and giving it to you. Now, it's important to understand how that split-off company will do, since it's spun off, and how the main company will do, the parent company will do. Will the spin-off be more successful now that it's not associated with the parent company? You'd have to look at the financials. You have to understand the business model, etc. Yeah, I clown on BBIG because, yeah, there's so many folks who thought, oh, you know what? I'm getting Cryptide. I'm just getting free money. There are so many folks who were so sure that they were just getting free money from the stock market. That, oh, the BBIG was spinning off the company, and they're going to receive Tide, and the value of BBIG wouldn't be touched. So many people who thought like that. So many people who fought with me in regards to that. And guess what? I'm laughing at them now. What's the value of your BBIG shares? A company that's not really making money. Financially, look, what's the stock done? Since hitting 12 back in September, it's down to 71 cents. That's why it's important to look at stuff like balance sheets. That's why it's important to understand how to read stuff like a 10Q. Understand how to read what their revenue is. What's their operating costs? What's their corporate borrowings? What's their net loss? Understand their G&A, general administrative costs. Understand that stuff. Understand what sort of assets do they hold? What's the value of that? What's their liabilities? You've got to understand some of the basic parts if you want to invest. If you're here to day trade, if you're here to scalp, yeah, a lot of this stuff you don't need to pay attention to because you'll be in and out of your positions real quick, whether that's within a minute, a couple seconds, maybe an hour, a day, a week. Yeah. So if you're going to be trading something like where's GNS? Yeah. Sure, if you're there to play the sentiment, yeah, if you want to gamble your money and guess that, oh, retail hype and so forth. You think all this volume also? You think that's all just retail? You think retail is pouring in that much money? Newsflash, folks. A lot of this is algos, firms, institutions. They're playing with you. Yeah, they'll pump it. They'll dump it. A lot of the folks, yeah, you're going to be buying it here. While the institutions, they'll be dumping it. They bought in down here. They bought down here. They started buying it, and you retail, you ended up catching up that last wave of it. And when they decide to start selling, price goes down. Price is now below what you bought in for. Now you're stuck holding a bag. You've become a bag holder because you don't understand how this works. Yeah, dump it. So you need to understand how this works. Everyone constantly screams market manipulation, crime. I guess if you want to characterize they have more information than you, if they have better ways to analyze the data than you, they're able to execute trades faster than you, yeah, there are disadvantages that occur in the stock market. You, as a retail investor, you don't have the same tools that they do. You don't have the ability to trade as fast, to get the information as fast, to analyze it as fast. Yeah. So you need to understand how to play this. Or else you're just going to end up being folks who buy here and you sell here. You buy high and you sell low. And you become a bag holder and now you've lost money. And that's what's happening to a lot of folks here at AMC. You got tons of folks crying because they bought in at that peak. They've been buying when the stock was, this is adjusted, split adjusted, the dividend adjusted. They bought in at 60, 50, 40. And guess what? Stock's now at $6. You got bagged on. You got dumped on. So, two ways. If you want to invest, you need to understand how to read forms like a 10Q, a 10K, a balance sheet, a financial statement. You need to understand that. You got to read Schedule 14As. You got to read 8Ks. You got to read the 8Ks. You got to read the 10Qs, the 14As, the Form 4s, the schedule, the 13Ds, the 13Gs. You got to understand who are the folks, what institutions are involved in here, who are the executives, who are the insiders, what are they doing, what's their pattern, how are shareholders voting previously, what sort of proposals were made in the past, what's their financial performance, etc. That's if you want to be an investor. You want to be a trader? Then you better start learning psychology to understand how people FOMO into certain stocks and learn when to cut and when to take profit and when to buy in. If not, you're just going to lose money hand over fist. Hey, what's up, Scott? Can't trade. Ants trade latest video. No, I didn't watch him. I will eventually cover him, but you know what? Oh, it's just, there's so many people to cover, man. The list continues to go on. I added Ants trades. There's so many folks, so many folks in this list, and all these YouTubers that need to be covered. There's just there's not enough hours in the day, hours in a week for me to cover all these folks. Even if I didn't have a job, even if I didn't have my full-time job, I would still not have enough hours in the day, hours in a week, hours in a month to cover all these folks. Yeah, Al from Boston's on this list. Don't worry, folks. It's a long list. I got what, currently 36 on here, and there's a lot of folks I still haven't covered. But today, what I wanted to cover, I'm going to cover this guy, lottery stocks. He recently popped up, couple Twitter things he popped up on my my watch for that I want to go over. You got an axe to grind with Al from Boston? Oh, Data Zero. Oh, yeah. It's a never-ending list of all these grifters, all these folks peddling all this BS. But yep, let's close that. Close that. Oh, I don't know if anyone's interested. Box office. Thursday, 5 mil. Friday, 20 mil. February, 32 mil. So, looking at it, actually, January did pretty well. Actually, after the updated numbers, it beat my prediction by, what, 4 mil or 3 mil? So not bad. We'll just have to see how January comes in. First 2 days started kind of flat. Based on Friday's performance, it If Saturday isn't a big hit, looks like this weekend might be a little flat. Nonetheless, be interesting to see. I don't think they're gonna break even Q1. I think they're gonna be burning money Q1. We know they've burned money Q4. That's why they did the whole deal with Antera and everything. But you know what? Let me get to the thing I want to cover. This channel, Lottery Stocks, this guy I wanted to cover. Guy's over 10,000 subscribers. So I'm gonna refresh him. A lot of videos. I want to cover, let's see. Let's cover this video. I wish this was clickbait. Oh, so this is not clickbait?
Alright guys, box office.
Okay, so let's turn up the volume and let's listen to this guy. Let's see what this guy has to say.
Sales has been growing year over year for movie theaters, already up 49% year to date, and we are only 1 month in. Following that up, analysts are predicting AMC will have free cash flow coming in 2024.
Right off the bat, okay. Understand this value. I like to use numbers. I love to use stats because they don't lie. The numbers don't lie. That figure will be true. That mathematical calculation will be true. But you know what? You got to understand the context of that figure. What are you comparing it to? You're comparing it to 2022. But you're gonna talk about free cash flow coming 2024. And what source? You're gonna use Frank Nez as your source? Really? Frank Nez? Hoo-wee. I think it's the first time me covering this guy, and I can already tell you, so it's most definitely clickbait. You know what? Let me focus some. I'm gonna turn off the music right here real quick. I want to focus on this video. Let's see. What the hell is this guy gonna? What is this guy gonna say?
Will have free cash flow coming in 2024, and is this another glitch, or is AMC share price over $4,000 a share? What is going on, guys? Lottery Stock.
AMC, what, $4,000 a share? What site is this? Is Fintel, right? I bet this is Fintel.io. I bet this is the website that they're using. God, I hate when folks use retarded websites like this when they can clearly get to the source of the information, but they choose to use these free websites that often have issues in their reporting. Let me do a quick search. Bank of Montreal. Yep. So Fintel. They're gonna pull up 13F. So their shares, 26,000 shares. Oh wow, you gotta pay to unlock average share price paid estimate. Lovely. That's an awesome site. You know where you can get this information? You can pull it up right from the SEC Edgar website. And that's why I hate when people use garbage places like Fintel. I'm going to pull up Bank of Montreal. I'm going to pull up, sorry, I'm pulling it up in a different monitor here. What's their CIK? Did they give you that on here? Did they give you this? Come on. They don't... Oh, this is fucking useless. Let's see. Maybe it's this. There we go. Okay. So SEC Edgar, I'm pulling up all their 13Fs. I probably don't even need to do that. I can probably pull the last 30. Bank of Montreal, their most recent 13F. So reports for Q4 2022. pull up. You can do an easy AMC. See, total of 12 hits. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They must have another. Oh. GM code. Okay. So all they have is 2. Is that right? Or no, hold on. Okay, so all these are shares. So that's all you need to do. 922, 5696, 1274 plus 85 plus 7507. 26,950 shares. Yep, so that does line up. But where does their calculation of 4,000 come from? Oh, I bet it's rounding error, because when you have only 85 shares and when you report a value of something like 347, it's all rounded up. Understand how it's done. These values are not to the actual dollar. Ay, ay, ay. See, that's where you have an issue. When people don't understand where your data comes from, the context of the data. And you need to understand, did they establish this position just now? You need to go back multiple filings. So, for example, 13F. You need to go back previous filings, back the previous quarter, maybe 2 quarters back, 3 quarters back, 4 quarters back. You need to look at, when did they establish their position? Did their shares increase or decrease? And remember, this is just a snapshot of what occurred on the final day. So you have no clue exactly what their true average is. All you know is how many shares that they owned on that date. So I hate when a site like Fintel that tells you average share price paid estimate. It's bogus. They have absolutely no clue what they really paid for. So let's see.
Share price over $4,000 a share. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you're new, we have a lot of stuff to go over, so all I ask is for you to stay till the end of the video so you don't have to watch another update video here on YouTube. We will update you on everything that there is to update you on. Without further ado, like the video. Alright guys, so as of February 2nd, Bank of Montreal just disclosed a 13F filing of ownership of AMC stock. Their latest disclosed ownership is about 27,000 shares at about a $110 million valuation, which means that each share they own is valued at $4,000 and...
Okay, so let's see if that is correct. So it looks like they're just adding up these values, so that's how you get the 100, right? 3629 plus 347 plus 51979 plus 23240 plus 3762. Yeah. So you're getting this value, and you're dividing it by the total number of shares of, what was it? 26950, and oops. Times 10, right? No, hold on. Oh, I did my math wrong, didn't I? Hold on. Where did I screw up? My bad, folks. 109.95. Oh, sorry. Yeah, because this is in times 100, right? 3 zeros, million, divided by 26950. That's why you get 4,000. No, it's by millions. They usually report it in millions, I think. So it's important to understand. Go back to the filing. What's their assets under management? So this is where you need to understand. A lot of times you'll find out right off the bat. Did they screw up how to report this? A lot of times they'll ask you, hey, put it in whatever millions. There's no way. I doubt that this Bank of Montreal assets under management is this times what's that? Million, billion, 230 trillion dollars? No. They screwed up on how they reported this figure. They screwed up. That's why you get this valuation. It'll be closer to this. And what was the price of AMC back on that date? Let's go back, folks. It should line up exactly. You close 407. Yeah, 408. Because you won't have it ever show up. This value won't be off. There's no way. It's just how this is a simple simple error in how to file this. Whoever the numbnuts is who signed off on it, who is this person? Where's the name? Eric Moss, the SVP, Chief Compliance Officer. He obviously has no clue. Obviously, he probably didn't sign it. It's whatever secretary or whatever analyst that works for him that does this filing. Maybe that person changed. They're dumb. They don't understand how to be inputting numbers for the 13F. Let's go back. Let's see their first filing. Did they screw up on that one too? No. See, in thousands. You got to understand that, hey, you changed from thousands, and they said nearest dollar. You don't understand how the fields might have changed. You're not understanding how to fill in the forms, how to input your data. That's why you get stupid stuff like Fintel, and you get super hyped. You get folks like, oh my god, look. And you get retards like him saying, oh, it's $4,000 a share. All because you don't understand the data. That's the most important part. You got to understand how these files, you just got to understand the context. You just need to have base knowledge. I understand that these mistakes occur often because I look at these filings. Common sense. If you look at previous filings when they do it in thousands or millions, does it make sense when this Bank of Montreal, do they really have over trillions of dollars of assets under management? No, they're not a BlackRock. They're not a Vanguard. They're nowhere near the size of that. So you can tell right off the bat that they screwed up. So they must have had within a past year, whoever was inputting the information into the form. I don't know, maybe the SEC changed the form. Maybe they slightly changed whatever the directions. I don't know. Maybe the person changed. But nonetheless, the person signing off, this person hasn't changed, Eric Moss, but I bet you he didn't even take a look at this stuff. So I can already tell off the bat, this guy, yeah, your video is clickbait. You're already spreading misinformation. You don't even understand the basics of a 13F filing. You don't understand how there's constantly typos and issues. You don't understand how a site like Fintel is absolute garbage, and they expect you to pay how much is it to pay? Sign up. Wow, they're going to charge you 30 bucks a month if you do it on a monthly, or 25 bucks a month if you do it on an annual basis. They're going to charge you that much for this bogus information? Yikes. So let's see. I bet you, give it a month or two, they'll file or sometimes they don't catch it themselves internally. But give it like a month or two. We'll see if they file a 13F amendment. We'll see if even within their own company, within the Bank of Montreal, they have good procedures where they can see that they screwed up in their filing. Or maybe they don't catch their own mistake. But you can easily see that this was a mistake in their filing. A typo in their filings, additional zeros. Because they didn't understand how to input the information.
$80 per share. Now, if you guys don't remember, a couple weeks ago when the order books were getting wiped, there were glitches happening where AMC was being showed at $4,200 a share, $4,100 a share, and overall in that range.
No, that was order books, people putting in sell prices at that. Just because you got an order book saying that they're going to sell it at that price doesn't mean that there's a buyer at that price nonetheless. Come on, like, we're a minute into his video, and how many issues were there? Issue with the box office. Issue with the 13F. Issue with relying on Frank Nez as a source. Good Lord. There's nothing in this video that's been accurate so far. Like, jeez. And this guy has 10,000 subs? He has over 12,000 views? Oh, great. Look. Look at how many links he has in this thing. Good frickin' Lord. Moo, his Discord. What the hell? Launchpass.com? Is that more, what is this? Oh, you gotta pay for it too, don't you? Oh, he charges you $2 a month just for his Discord. What the hell's Dubby Energy? Is that some energy drink? Domain money? Mex Crypto, his merch, how to become a member. I guess you got to pay to become a member. Oh, you got a separate Discord. He's got his Twitter. You got to subscribe. Oh, don't forget. Oh, God bless. Oh, yeah. God bless. That automatically forgives all the issues of how you're grifted. You're going to sell your moo. You got to do your paid Discord. You got this Dubby Energy. You got your crypto. You got whatever website domain junk. Oh, see? This guy's selling you hopes and dreams. How to get actually rich from nothing. Oh, why you lose money in the stock market. How to flip NFTs. How to sell covered calls. How to trade options like a king. All not financial advice. No. This guy is a Class A grifter. But yeah. Hey, look, God's been cheating on stocks and crypto plays. Yeah, it looks like God's been giving this guy more and more love, right? Jeez. And let me be clear, I don't care what religion, whatever your religious belief is, whatever you're Christian, you're Catholic, you're Mormon, you're Muslim, whatever you are, I don't care. Just don't push your stuff on me, and don't be spreading that. Don't be like a Jehovah's Witness. I don't need you knocking on my door saying, "Oh, have you heard the word of Jesus Christ?" No, pass me with that bull, okay? I don't believe in it. I don't need you pushing that stuff on me. That's all I'm gonna say about the religion stuff. But the moment you start saying, "Oh, God told me to buy this," good grief, give me a frickin' break. But we're just a minute into this, and nothing in here has been legit. Oh, this guy's going to talk about cost to borrow too. Let's listen in.
Low. Following that up, guys, touching on Ortex, 22.86% short interest on AMC. Utilization still maxed out, and this is where it gets crazy. The cost to borrow max sitting at 855%, and you might be saying, lottery stocks, only one short can be borrowing that, so that's not substantial. But take a look at the average, almost 550%, which means shorts are paying an average of 5 times their position just to borrow shares against AMC.
Hey, genius, lot of these folks, when you look at this cost to borrow, understand, how is that charged? How is that What is that rate again? Is that on a daily basis? Is that on an hourly basis? On a weekly, monthly, yearly? Is this an annualized rate? I wonder if that's important to understand. If that is a daily rate or an hourly rate versus an annualized rate, that's big context. I want to tell me, folks, all these people pushing cost to borrow, tell me, what is it? Do you know the answer? Because I do. For the folks who don't know, that's an annualized rate. Break that down by whatever 200 plus whatever trading days in the stock market. And understand that rate is what a retail investor, a person who has a Webull account, person who has maybe a Fidelity, a Schwab, TD Ameritrade, etc., Merrill Lynch, etc. A lot of times those are prices a retail investor is paying. You think an institution is paying that same cost? You're out of your mind. You don't understand jack diddly squat. They're not paying those rates. They operate in a different cost structure. But furthermore, so hold on. First of all, it's an annualized rate. So whatever that 500, 800,000, whatever 1,000% rate, retail person is paying that. You don't know exactly how many shares at that rate that they borrowed. And you got to understand, if they borrowed it and they returned it all within the same day, they didn't hold that position through till the next day, they're not paying squat. So you can get super hyped. Oh, look at how the percentages gone up. Well, if they borrowed it at a 500 or 800% rate and they returned it before the end of the day, they bought it back, they closed their position, guess what? They didn't pay squat. They might have paid whatever the initial borrow fee and whatnot. But they're not going to be paying that insane rate. And even if, break it down by the number of days in the year, because it's an annualized rate. God, these clowns. I mean, I hate to do an ad hominem attack, but it's the only way to classify them. Clowns. They're grifters. They're frauds. Look at how many links this guy has. Look at all the stuff he's trying to sell. His merch, his paid Discord. He wants his affiliate link. No, don't forget, you got to tag in AMC and GME too. He has no understanding of basic numbers when you look at box office. No understanding of reputable sources. You're relying on Frank Nez. You have no understanding of BS, another BS source like Fintel, because you don't understand how to read 13F filings. This is so depressing. You got these folks. This person has 10,000 plus subscribers. You got 12,000 views. How many people are watching this, believing him? Like, it's a shame if you make decisions based on this false information this guy is telling you. I just think about how much money you could be losing. But let's see. I'm gonna skip through the next thing.
Funds have been asked by the SEC to search through the employees' devices for evidence of business dealings on unapproved channels like cell phones. And just in, Berkshire Hathaway's Charlie Munger urges the US government to ban crypto, while Mark Wahlberg is going to produce a documentary on the relationship between Sam Bankman-Fried and the CEO of Binance. Last but not least, of crypto, Solana-based Everland Finance announces shutdown due to lack of liquidity, and more job cuts are coming as INTC has cut base pay for managers by 15% and its CEO by 20%.
Once again, you're talking about all these events. Some might be linked, but I don't know why you linked it Intel. Do you understand the business model of Intel? Do you understand why they had to slash the pay? Do you understand why they had to cut back on their workforce? Do you understand their business model? Do you understand how how the landscape has changed in regards to servers? How Intel and AMD and their competitors in the market, how AMD has developed a new chip design, their EPIC chips that are doing far better than Intel, far more capable, more power efficient, how it's taking massive market share away from Intel. Have you looked at the profit margins of how Intel is making their chips? They're using their silicon versus AMD. You have no context in regards to why all this base pay cut is happening for these managers, why they're cutting down their workforce. Pay attention to how the PC, the client computing division of Intel, understand year over year. Look at how much money that they've lost, or how much money that not making as much when you compare it to previous year, same quarter. Understand the glut, understand the high valuation that Intel took when people were all stuck in their homes, when they were all buying all these computers, when companies were expanding, hiring lots of folks, when they had to buy all this hardware for people who are doing work from home. You're making connections to stuff that doesn't exist. I hate when people like you see something, you see a headline, you understand absolutely nothing in regards to that headline, no background knowledge, and suddenly you're linking this all together with cryptocurrency, Charlie Munger, SBF, Solana, etc. Give me a break, dude. Give me a frickin' break. How do I know about Intel? Because I love computers. I'm currently right now doing heavy research on upgrading my computer. And Intel, Nvidia, AMD, Qualcomm, TSMC, Samsung, SK Hynix, etc. Those are all companies I pay close attention to because I want to know what's going on with the semiconductor industry. I'm invested in it. I want to know what's going down the pipeline. I want to know, hey, what's the best product coming down the pipeline for me? I want to make an upgrade to my computer. I've been building my own computers for the last, let's see, 15 years. 15 plus years, actually. Been DIYing stuff. And yeah, I dabbled in crypto mining over the last 3 years, too. But, this is ugly, man. This video, wrong fact after wrong statement after wrong statement after wrong correlation, like linkage.
15 from 164, which is a huge raise, and Facebook just announced a new $40 billion buyback. Following that up, US to settle $48 billion 6-month treasury bills on February 6 to settle on February 9, and Blackstone has blocked withdrawals from its $69 billion real estate income trust. Touching on some other stuff, gold holds 9-month high as dollar.
So what's all this relations? You're covering all these little headlines, but for what purpose? I don't understand the correlation. You want to search random headlines? You can go on Twitter and search for all these random headlines. That doesn't mean squat.
Basis points. Finally, guys, ticker.
Oh, you're gonna cover GNS, Roger James Hamilton. Oh, I wonder. Do you break down this whole NFT coupon? Do you understand how this is gonna work, dude?
Ticker symbol GNS ran again today, and I know some people in Discord made money off it, so shout out to you guys in Discord. The CEO tweeted this: details on how our GNS $10 upstream exchange equals, and the CEO as well announcing it. Just wants me even more to have Adam Aaron and other CEOs really on top of things, because it does show with ticker symbol GNS, GTII, and other stocks like that the CEOs actually know what's happening behind the scenes, and they are...
No. These folks have no clue what the hell is going on, except the fact that they're pumping the crap out of their shit stocks. GNS is a garbage stock. It's a company that's not making shit. They overpaid for all their acquisition, all these education companies. it's all over the place. You got places in South Africa, places in Australia, um, freaking was it California? Some private university in California. Like, you've got a ragtag group of random little companies that they've acquired, millions of shares that they gave for the acquisition of those companies. None of them are really making money. And oh yeah, they're fighting naked shorts. Really? Good grief. This guy, he's obviously not an investor. I don't know. Although then I saw a video of him. What was it? He talked about his portfolio, exposing his long-term stock portfolio. Did a couple VOO, I think like an REIT and etc. He got no clue what the hell he's doing. That was just a month ago. When did he establish his? Okay, so he made this channel over two years ago. But he has very. It seems like he has very little experience trading in the stock market. He's not really an investor. Maybe he's a trader. Maybe he day trades a lot. But so far, based on his research, he ain't doing squat. He ain't making money on squat as an investor. He might get lucky making some trades here and there, but more likely he's just going to be making more and more bag holders. But yeah, let me get back to the catch up on chat real quick. I've been rambling on a lot. Yeah, average share price is BS from Scott. Doesn't reflect the average share price. Yeah, Yep. They interpret typos and common errors literally if they can spin it in their favor. Otherwise, it's a fake glitch and crime. Yep. Model 3 dude, what's going on? You're staying in the weeds. Scott, you're going to do a live stream tomorrow for the AMC Grift Watch. Futures at 6. Yeah, I really need to spend some more time digging into the recent numbers that's been hitting the market, because just the recent market pump it's really thrown me off. It's pretty crazy. Let's see. You're going on a cruise tomorrow. Damn, okay. Enjoy your cruise, Model 3. But yeah, God's been cheating on stocks and crypto plays. Yeah, this guy, grifter. Hi there. Have you heard from the word of T plus 90, our Lord and Savior? I haven't watched stocks and crypto plays in a while. Should I queue up a video from him? Maybe I'll do that to end the show. I want to use his Weimoo link. No one's talking about GME. Oh, except Morant's Rants. Nobody's talking about GME. I think former GME holders have quietly closed their positions and stopped posting about it. You made a shitload of money on Intel or I don't know what INTT is. Hopefully you meant INTC. If you did, good job, man. 0% chance he understands the bond market. WDY, what? Huh? What does WDYT? What? Oh, is it WYDT? What you doing tomorrow? Is that what you're asking? Oh, what do you think? Oh, my bad. So much slang. You're damn. I think you're older than me, but you understand that. But I didn't get that term. But what do I think? I doubt he understands shit. I don't think he knows how to interpret bond yields. No, I thought he was asking me what I was doing tomorrow, because he talked about how he was going on stream tomorrow to talk about futures and stuff. But yeah, let's get back. What else does he cover? Oh, options data. Oh, lovely. Oh, and look, he uses Stonko Tracker. Lovely. Why don't you just pull up a brokerage account? Why don't you pull up your Mumu brokerage and pull up the options chain? Come on. You got to pull up Stonko Tracker.
Quick, 0 shares available to borrow on AMC, and we are winning very well in the options chain. 59,000 calls compared to 4,000 puts. If AMC does continue to rise today and tomorrow, we could see a lot of gamma ramp going forward and a lot of FOMO once AMC.
Gamma ramp. Do you understand what gamma ramp is? Do you understand what a gamma squeeze is? Pull up the options chain. Show me the gamma value. Show me how that value, all those contracts, all that volume, all that open interest leads to a gamma squeeze. Show me. What's the float of AMC? 517 plus million shares. How many shares are in the money, or how many contracts are in the money? Let me go back. 59,000 contracts in the money. I don't know what time that he's grabbing this. At what price? How many of those options are going to be exercised? Come on. Now that actually you pull that up, I want to look at the options chain for March. I've been looking at options flow because look at the options flow for the monthly. Look at how much volume poured in. If you look at the block trades, you'll see some massive flows going into the $6 and $5 for the March 17th, 2023 monthlies for the standard options for AMC, $6 and $5 puts. You'll see massive volume that came in. You can look at the time and sales. You can go through a lot of them, but you'll see massive sweeps. You'll see even golden sweeps go through, and you'll see they had 47,000 open interest, but you had 48,000 volume on it. So come Monday, take a look at how much has the open interest ballooned to. Same thing for the $6. And folks who constantly harp on, oh, look at all the options in the money. Oh yeah, look how, oh, there's 60,000 call options in the money. Historically, you know what percentage of calls in the money are ever exercised? Under 10%. You think people have all that money? If you have $50,000 in call contracts, supposedly, like Mr. Boss Blunts, if you have call contracts at $6, $60,000 worth of call contracts, how much money do you need to exercise all those call contracts? One call contract, 100 shares. So for $600 for one contract, you have $50,000 worth of contracts. You have that much capital laying around to exercise it all? No. So it's always bogus. And I love it when, oh yeah, I'm going to buy all these shares. At the same time, never a single post of their exact transaction going down. Never see it live. Never see a video of it. A lot of times screenshots. Oh, look at how much money I made on these options. Yeah, a lot of the times you dig into the actual options flow, look into the actual time and sales, look into the order book, you'll find out that transaction didn't occur at that time. There was nowhere near that much volume anywhere during that time. Because a lot of those folks are straight out lying to you. They're doing paper trades. They're showing you paper gains. The trades never existed. They never bought in at those prices. And they never sold at those prices. They didn't have real money involved. They had monopoly money. So once again, this guy doesn't understand jack squat about options. Doesn't understand anything about any of the Greeks, it looks like. Using Stonko Tracker. Give me a break. Okay, what else? Is he going to do some TA for us now? I love it when these so-called traders show their excellent ability to do TA.
Touching on the charts before we close out the video, and if you haven't liked the video yet, make sure to like the video. First of all, the MACD got a crossover on the weekly, which is a very bullish signal going forward, and it's trading the exact same way that it traded back in January of 2021 before that major run-up. Taking out the MACD and bringing...
Oh, you're gonna compare January of last year to now? What were the macro events? What were the events surrounding this situation? You really think, oh yeah, the MACD crossed back in January and on the weekly, and you know what? It looks like it's going to cross now in 2023, 2 years later. Oh yeah, so what? Squeeze confirmed? We going to the moon? We're going to be so freaking rich? Oh, God. God help me. This is what I need a religious person like God, because the amount of moronic statements they make, it's just... it's like I get a headache.
Bringing the drawings in real quick, we know what we've been tracking. However, it just got a little bit better. AMC had this runaway gap right here, right around $4.30. And just from a technical perspective, it broke out, came back down, tested support, and is finally breaking back out to the upside, which is a very, very bullish thing to see.
Oh, there couldn't have been any sort of correlation to how the markets have been doing the last several days or the past couple weeks, huh? This is all just technical movement, just strictly on AMC, right? AMC has no correlation to the overall markets.
See, even if we weren't tracking the cycles that we've been tracking. However, with the...
Oh, is this another cycle guy? Is that the same guy as Ants Trades, where they're counting cycles and they've been looking at the past 3 years of how it's been moving?
Cycles we've been tracking. This is the exact same thing that happened back in January and June, right before the major rips to the upside, and I really do think AMC is going to head somewhere very, very high in the near future. I am watching for a break over 9 for confirmation, and a definite confirmation would be a break over 11, getting past that double-digit area and that supply zone up there. Remember, guys, that $4,000 share price. Now, back in June, this is the...
That $4,000 share price was an error. It's a typo in 13F filings that Fintel reports, because Fintel doesn't filter out the information. They don't think about, oh, hey, you know what? There could have been issues with this filing. Remember, issues like this isn't a sudden phenomenon. This has been going on for years and years. So this is something, if Fintel even bothered to look at, if they bothered to understand, if they put in a simple calculation of, oh, let's look at the company. If a company had value, assets under management roughly, whatever, reported value, 188 mil, let's say, just on this value. Obviously, it means billions. And suddenly, it changes, it balloons within 1 year from millions to billions. If you have a massive gain in a company like that, in a firm like that, put in an algorithm. Hey, check if previous filing, if their gain reported on you filing is greater than X value. Have that ping, have that generate a report of, hey, you know what? There could be something faulty with this data. There could be an issue with how either maybe we need to check our data source. Maybe we need to check to see if there's an issue in how we're importing our data, or maybe there was a typo in the filing. Because I can bet you, look at all the different 13F filings, thousands of different filings every quarter, you'll find tons of errors. Oh, but yeah, you know what? But Fintel has no problem charging you, was it $20-30 a month for it? Or $25 if you do an annual subscription? Yeah, but they got no problems not implementing basic changes like that to give you actual, more realistic figures. Grifters, frauds. That's why I always say, go back to the original source. Get back to the most original source of information that you can get. Don't trust garbage like this when you know that they got issues.
Same runaway gap you saw right here, gapped right here, broke out, tested again, and finally got that major pop over the next few days. We're sitting right around this area where it finally started to accumulate volume and get small pushes to the upside, up 10% on the day as we speak. And the same thing back here, there was a little bit of a runaway gap, same thing pushed right here in the cycle, and it will accumulate to the upside, pushing up to about $26.75 before slowly getting a retracement back to the downside and then continuing to rip. As
No, you covered GameStop. Okay.
for the S&P 500, it's sitting at 416.81, right around that resistance level. Next, we're watching a break over 420, and right now we're deciding if bulls are in favor temporarily or in favor over the long term. Long term, AMC definitely rips heads off. Short term, it still can, because remember, it run up to 403, lost short sellers 81 billion, and now we're up to 416. That is a major move higher, which means shorts must have lost billions, if not trillions, over the last couple of days. And
Really? Shorts lost trillions of dollars? Oh my... Oh, this guy doesn't understand squat.
remember, I called Fidelity, and they said that once margin calls hit, we give them a grace period of 3 days to, answer back to those margin calls.
Yeah, margin calls for who? Retail. For numbnuts like you. When you're dealing with hedge funds, you think they don't have additional collateral that they can post? You think that they don't do risk mitigation? They're not folks like you that YOLO into BBBY calls thinking, oh, Ryan Cohen's, you're not like Kai's Malesh, thinking, Ames, Ryan Cohen's gonna buy out BBBY and all this nonsense, or GNS is gonna go to the moon, so I'm just gonna buy the furthest out, cheapest out the money options and hope that I'll make billions and make generational wealth. Give me a break.
So guys, remember, just because the SPY ripped yesterday and today doesn't mean you're going to see shorts covering today and yesterday. You could see that 2 days down the road, so get ready for major rips going forward. I am very excited. Overall, guys, make sure to get your 15 free stocks linked in the...
Oh yeah, don't worry. He's got to plug his Moo junk again. Not to forget that he has the links already here. You got to put it in the video. I think he covered it early in the video, right? Or maybe not. I thought he covered it in the beginning, in the intro, but nope. More Moo junk. Oh, I covered him. I'm not gonna cover this guy ever again. It's just please. I'm gonna put this in red now. I covered him once, and I'm not going to cover him again because it's too much of a headache. It's just absolute nonsense, absolute garbage. I'm going to go down the line and cover folks that I'll never cover again. Donahue George, same junk. He doesn't know what the F he's talking about. They're both absolute... they have a disability. Let me just frankly say it that way. They have a mental disability. They do not have the ability to think rationally or logically or critically. All they're here for is to constantly push out YouTube videos, push out their affiliate links, sell their merch, go for their paid discords so that they can make money off of you. That's all they're here to do. They're here to rah cheerlead whatever stock that they're that's getting the current retail hype. Oh God. Can't do it. So for folks, please don't ask me to cover him again, because it's just gonna hurt my brain, man. I swear, I feel like I'm losing brain cells covering him. But you know what? I'll cover this guy because it's so laughable. So laughable. Oh, all these videos. Let's see. What's he been doing? Oh, FTD increase. AMC added 13.5 million. What? What in the world? What is he smoking? Let's see what this is about. This AMC video.
Hey friends, welcome to Stocks and Crypto Plays. Today I'm talking...
T plus 90 was real. It's in full effect. I thought he said it mooned by T plus 90, which is what, back on January 4th or something? Right? 3rd? January 4th? Oh, now it's going to squeeze before March 14th, before the shareholders vote, huh? Lovely. Let's see.
Talking about AMC and Ape. Very exciting news. Before we get started, hit like, hit subscribe. AMC's up 6.5% today with an increased 5 million volume over the average. Ape is up 5.7% today with an increased 10 million shares worth 2023. I had done a lot of videos on that, and I told you it squeezed off chain and they would move it to the lit fourth.
AMC did not squeeze off chain. Oh my god. Ah, this guy is just. Oh.
We've had 17 green days with net inflows in the green and only 3 in the red. And when you calculate it, that's approximately $58 million to the green in the net inflows and only $4 million to the net outflows. And what I'm talking about is the total green or the total red, not the total volume or the total sales. Okay, so what this is a lot more money's coming into Ape than is going out. 58 million in, 4 million out when you get to the total net in and net out. Okay, so that's very bullish for Ape. And since January 4th, 17 green days, only 3 red days. So January 4th, T90 is a real thing. Okay, let's take a look also. The volume, today's volume on Ape, we blow your mind, we had 13.5 million, 70% of fat cash changing hands, okay? You're only seeing a 5% move to the upside, but you don't realize what's going on in 2020 Ape, wherever you want to do.
Oh, okay, so it looks like inflows is his most recent new darling metric that he loves to harp on about. Absolutely means nothing. Means 0. So I don't know why. I guess that's the only thing he can harp on about. He can never talk about the box office in the proper manner. I see that he stopped talking about, oh, how Avatar is over 2 billion. I guess because Avatar is not doing that double-digit millions every day. But Visa, we know Visa was, along with Lu versus Wall Street, that was another junk stock share offering. Lovely. You see how these companies, they'll dump on you. You get retail hype, or you get people that pump and dump it. They'll pump it, and yeah, because they're a shit company, they're going to do an offering to take in all that money. They're going to take your money, leave you bag holding, and they'll continue to run their crap company. Well, they're burning millions of dollars. Well, the CEO's making millions of dollars while the company burns millions of dollars. I.e., look at Mullen, another company that this douche was pushing. Company that hasn't made a single vehicle yet. They've not made a commercial a vehicle sold to freaking consumer right now. No regular person has bought it. They haven't started their production on it. Won't be out for at least another year and a half, I think, if I recall correctly. But yeah, CEO has no problem taking millions of dollars in salary, giving himself bonuses, buying himself billions of voting power with just a $25,000 investment in preferred share, with a preferred share class that only he has voting power over. You never read any of the SEC filings. Oh, HLBZ, another garbage stock. What's NVOS? Is that another the next pump and dump? All you need to do is any of these garbage stocks that they pump, go into them and short it. I think that's like a super dumb but easy way. When they pump it, you get into it to ride the dump down. Options are often the spreads are super terrible, super jacked, the IV is super jacked, so you can get screwed on them. But hey, if your broker is not charging ridiculous percentages, you can probably shorten a lot of these pumps, like all these pump and dumps. I might have to start looking into that situation. Pay attention to all these pumpers, see what stock that they're pushing next, and then enter in a short position to write it down. Remember, this guy We know Visa. We know how Visa was garbage. HLBZ, Hellbiz, Mullen. Oh, don't forget, Brilliance of Party City went bankrupt. Oh, AVCT, bankrupt. This guy loves to go into basically bankrupt companies. No. Man, that video didn't give me nearly as many laughs as I wanted to, but not everything could be that funny. But let's see. Captain No Likey, late to the show. Can you take a quick look into AutoZone? AutoZone was AN, right? It's been a while. No, that's AutoNation. AutoZone. AZO. Right? AutoZone. Look at their most recent filing. While I wait. AZO. Oh, that's on the daily. On the hourly, how's it doing? Okay. What's the market cap on this? 45 billion. Okay. So I'll do this real quick, and probably wrap it up here real soon. Cash. Yeah, for the folks who always ask me, fundamentally, like, what do I look at, when I'm looking at 10Qs, 10Ks, right off the bat, I'll tell you. I look at what's their cash, what's their assets, what's their current assets, how much money do they have? I want to look at that first. That's always something that I want to be made well aware of. And because they're like a retail kind of store, inventory. How much money do they have? What's their value in inventory? You want to pay attention to inventory levels for a company like this to see, are their levels expected? Do they have any big changes and shifts due to seasons? In the industry that they're in, is there big ebbs and flows of when they're super busy versus super slow? Pay attention to merchandise inventory. Want to pay attention to what's their total assets? What's their total liabilities? Debt. Oh, wow. I did not know. They got a decent amount of debt. Wow. Okay. I did not know. Their total current liabilities. Okay. A lot more than I thought. What's their goodwill? Goodwill. Okay, very little goodwill. Okay. So, profit-wise, net sales. Almost, was it, what, 4 billion net sales? Because it's in thousands. 4 billion net sales. Cost of sales in 2 billion. Gross profit nearly 2 billion. Net income, what, just over 500,000. So what, 530 million? 540 million. Down a little bit year over year. Same quarter into 12 weeks. It's not too bad. Let's see. Net cash and operating activities. That's still pretty positive. What's their capital expenditures? Okay. CapEx increased a little bit. That's not too worrisome. Cash flows from financing events. Commercial paper. Okay, so they sold a little bit of common stock. Okay. Purchase of treasury stock. All in all, I mean, this company, I mean, I don't see any red flags per se if you compare it to something like the typical meme stocks. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a $2,000, almost $400 stock. Low float. Free float 18.69 million. Shares outstanding 18.7. So, I mean, that's why it's so freaking expensive per share. I mean, off the bat, I mean, just off of one, I mean, like a company like this, you need to look at multiple quarters, kind of look at multiple years. I mean, this company has been running for God knows how long. How many filings do they have? Is there more to load, or is that it? 13 to 23 of 38 entries. So there's more. It's just not loading. But I mean, they've been operating for 10 plus years of filing. So, I mean, this is something that I'd have to kind of look at through pre-pandemic, see how it's doing. Looking at post-pandemic now and see how they're doing. All I can do just looking at the most recent quarter, I mean, it seems to be on par, but you'd have to understand. I mean, I have no context of what were they doing? What were their plans of growth? Were they going to expand a lot? Were they trying to shrink a lot? Like, there's so little information that I can't really think much on this, except, hey, I know this company is not in any danger of going bankrupt right off the bat. Yeah, sure, they don't have tons of money in the bank. They don't have tons of cash on hand. They do have a decent amount of debt, decent amount of liabilities, but you know what? Their total assets way over their current total liabilities. They're making profit. They're making net income. They're generating profit, free cash flow positive. So, I mean, it's nothing to worry about per se. I mean, I'm pretty sure this company's been around for decades, right? How long has this company been around for? 1991. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, stock price has only been going up and up and up since 91. I mean, I've gone to AutoZone to buy parts and stuff. I usually go more towards Advanced Auto versus AutoZone, though, to be honest. But I mean, nonetheless, I mean, this isn't a company like a meme stock. I might cover this in other future videos as I transition more away from covering meme stocks. I'll kind of cover what I look for when I'm looking to invest into a company. Give you kind of my logic, my type of rationale for why I choose to invest in a company. In sort of also explain what time frames I'm looking at, what sort of ROI, return on investment, what sort of return I expect in that time frame, what sort of catalyst I'm thinking about, etc. I might do that breakdown perhaps probably, let's say, EVs. I have a big interest in investing into EV companies along with other branches of EV. So whether that's companies that develop, let's say, EV batteries, EV chargers, further down the supply chain, kind of companies that maybe there's lithium companies, cobalt companies, companies that recycle the lithium, that recycle these materials, these chemicals, that's used in the production of these batteries and so forth. I might do a breakdown of a company that I'm interested in, that I'm invested in, and kind of run through why I invested in it, what my price target, kind of stuff like that. Once again, I'm not telling anyone to buy, sell, or anything. It's just I'm explaining why I made those choices and why I thought it was a good investment. Some folks obviously will disagree with me, but probably something it's a video I'll make in the future. CMG, that is Chipotle, right? I think CMG. Yep, CMG. Chipotle, another highly successful company. Stock price has been absolutely on the run. They've been brilliantly able to navigate the pandemic era. They were brilliantly able to constantly jack up the prices of their products, but really not see much of a decrease in the people, the consumers, the people going to Chipotle without that much reduction. They've been pretty smart about it. They've been pretty quick to adapting with the times, partnering up with food delivery companies like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Grubhub. I'm missing a couple other delivery places, but yeah. That I'll probably do a case scenario of like an EV company that I'm invested in, and probably a semiconductor company that I'm invested in. I'll probably do that. Timeline hopefully within the next month or so, but we'll see. Or maybe I'll spend a weekend, a live stream covering it, maybe. But you know what? I'm not gonna do it today. Gonna try to shut stuff down. Thanks, Scott, for coming through. Other folks that are chiming in. Thanks for being here. Any last minute questions before I shut things down? Give it a little bit. For the folks who came in late, honestly, the stuff that I covered today covered the new 14F file, or not 14F, the Form 4 filing. Talked about how Sean Goodman, AMC CFO, how he was selling shares. Looked at all the other executives. Looked at how many shares those folks had. Look at their pattern of how they're selling their shares. Looked at the stock ownership guidelines of the company, how a lot of these executives don't seem to be meeting those requirements. Covered a video on lottery. Was it? Forgot his name already, which is really good. Lottery stocks. That guy had so many issues in his video. Not a single thing he said was basically correct. All falsehoods, false information. Proved to be grifter with all his moo links, his paid discords, merchandise, etc. And obviously looked at one video from this genius, quote unquote, /S sarcasm. If you guys don't really understand my tone of voice, but this guy, favorite guy to clown on because he has absolutely no clue what the hell he's talking about, and he loves to pump absolute garbage stocks. A lot of the stocks that he's been pumping have gone bankrupt or will soon be going bankrupt. But yeah, that's a lot of the stuff I was covered today. Yeah, someone asked about AutoZone, so briefly looked over that. But yeah, that's it, folks. That's a quick TLDR of what I covered in the last 2 hours or so on the stream. Thanks everyone for coming to the live stream today. Hopefully you found it interesting. Hopefully you learned something from it. Learned some of the information that I was covering. Saw all the sources I was referencing. See a lot of the BS that a lot of these grifters are pushing out. I don't understand why people call me a grifter, why people call me a shill. You see exactly where I'm getting my data, where I'm getting my sources. All official sources, all reputable. I'm not selling anything to you folks. I'm not monetizing it. I don't have anything monetized. I got no affiliate links. I'm not selling my merch. No nothing. No Moo, no Weeble, no Robinhood, nothing. But somehow I'm a grifter, huh? It's wild. I guess all these people are butthurt when I fact check them. It is what it is. But hey, folks, one way to help support me, if you like the stuff, please watch my if you watch my videos, please hit the like, hit the subscribe, share this with folks that you think that should see it. If you're an AMC investor, do what you want with your money. I don't care. I'm not telling you what to buy, what to sell. What I'm providing to you folks is information. Information that you all can look up yourself. You can pull up the exact same information I'm pulling up. You can go to the exact screens I'm going to. Verify, fact check, verify my stuff, double check my stuff. See if what I'm saying is right. You got a problem with it? You found something wrong with it? Hey, let me know. I'll go double check it, and if I'm wrong, I got no problem saying I'm wrong. Unlike a lot of those other grifters, they'll say, oh, they'll put out tons of different theories. Never pans out. They never apologize for being wrong. They'll just constantly blame, oh, crime, manipulation. It was the hedgies. Yeah, but I don't do that. If I'm wrong, I got no problem saying I'm wrong. But yeah, please, folks, like, subscribe, share it. Got questions, comments, concerns, etc. Leave them down in the comment section below. Do my best to help to get to those, reply back. But yep, that's gonna be it, folks. Thanks for being here. Until next time. I'll be probably doing weekly streams, just every Saturday around the same time, 8:30 start. Do it for 2-3 hours and do videos maybe 2-3 times a week. Until next time, folks. Shadowstars out. Peace.